Yeah, I said patente to one of my buddies who was English. He said, "What's a patente?" I said, "You don't know what a patente." You know, hard to describe what a patente is. It can be anything. You know?
It's like a croissant.
Yeah, it was a golf ball washing machine. You know, and you're right beside the green. And I was like, "Oh," he's like, "How'd you get your ball so clean?" I was like, "Oh, I put in a little patente there." He's like, "Patente?" You know, it's from a west or something like that. What do you call the vertical member in a wall that supports the lintel? Oui, jack stud. Un poteau de huisserie en français.
Oh, je regardais Jack Stud.
Oh, jack stud en québécois. Yeah.
Oh, c'est pratique aussi.
C'est ça. Même montant, stud, jack.
Même les braces là, que tu mets dans les échafaudages, je suis pas sûr que vraiment quelqu'un appelle ça des croisillons.
Parce que moi j'avais misère avec ça, parce que j'avais besoin de prononcer une croisière en place de la brace. Puis là, sur le plancher, ben, prends ton brace. Croisillon. Brace, là.
Et tu vraiment quelqu'un qui appelle ça croisillon?
Guy. L'autre prof. Il n'a pas encore parlé avec Guy.
No, never.
The real names are but yeah, croisillon, it's a mouthful. For me, even French and English, if it's easier to say. Si c'est plus facile en français ou plus facile en anglais, moi, il y a
Ça dépend, il y a des termes en anglais qui sont plus faciles.
Ah, c'est ça. Ou, des fois, comme, moi j'utilise Madrid. French or English, Madrid. En anglais, or plank or bowl. We each use each other's words, you know. Okay, we did, what do you call the bottom horizontal member on the bottom of a framed window opening?
Rough sill.
Rough sill, and that's got a little bit of a slope too. Name 3 materials that can be used to build a lintel. I got framing lumber, LVL, glue lam, PSL, so you guys can build them yourselves or you can use any kind of engineered product. What 2 calculations must be completed to find the stud length? I didn't go over this. You add the finishings. So you're going to look at a cut view of the plan. You're going to have 3/4 hardwood flooring. You have like furring and gyprock on the ceiling. Okay, so you add that and you subtract your plates. You have 4.5 inches of plate in a wall, right? You have a bottom plate 1.5 inches, and then you have up top you have 2 plates, 3 inch.
So you just add the plates and then you subtract them? No.
Add the finishings. Okay, imagine this is how I always describe it. You get a job, Andrew, to build a ceiling at bang on 8 foot 4.5 inch. Okay? I don't know why I said that. 8 feet. Bang on 8 feet. Okay? You 2 show up Friday afternoon. Okay, we got to build this wall exactly at 8 feet. Awesome. The ceiling height in the building in the plan is exactly 8 feet. Okay? So you come along. Figure out there, you'll go, okay, cool, we're going to cut all the studs at 8 feet and we're going to build our wall. Awesome. You leave at the end of the day, what's your ceiling height? It's too high because you didn't take off the 4.5, right? So then what's going to happen on top of that, right, the client's coming in and she's going to go, okay, well these 2, they're fresh out of school, they had an awesome teacher, but they're a little confused. So the ceiling height's a little weird, and then what do? Finishing guy's going to add 1 on the floor. Hardwood flooring. What's that going to do to your ceiling height? He's gonna shrink it, right? And then he's gonna come in, he's gonna fur your ceiling, and he's gonna gyprock your ceiling. What's that gonna do to your ceiling height? So what do you do to compensate for that? You add all that stuff when you calculate your height. So you know in the plan, the lady's gonna say you're off by 3/4. They know, madame, the guy's gonna install hardwood flooring later on. It's all gonna work out. So you add all your finishing, furring, gyprock, hardwood flooring. You add all that, and then subtract 4.5, which is all your plates. That's it.
So you add, let's say, 8 feet, 8 feet.
You whatever your ceiling height is on the plan. Let's say 9'7". 9'7", you subtract your plates because that's your wall, right? We're building a wall, so you know you're going to be missing 1.5 inches there and 3.5 inches up top, right?
Yeah.
So your 4.5, that's a given. You're going to take that off later on. That's your wall. So if you want to know how long your studs are, you add all the finishing to compensate for it. Once you've compensated for all that finishing, then the end result is your proper ceiling height.
But the finishing variance, so like
It'll be in the plan. It's marked on the plan. So it'll have a cut view of the plan. Remember in Plan Vis-a-Vis, it has like a little chunk of roof. It's going to show your plates. It's going to show all that, and then it's going to show how your ceiling's made. Sometimes they put tin test furring, chip rock, 2 layers of chip rock, whatever it is, it'll tell you. So you add all your finishing and subtract your
Finishing
4.5.
goes on top of the double top, the double top plate? I understand now,
Yeah, well, your double top plate. Guys, look at it like this. Right, another one of my miracle drawings. Then we're done, guys. I'm done. Look, guys, you got your stud, okay? You got your bottom plate, and you got your double top plate, okay? Then what do you got on top of that? You got a truss, okay? That's your basic construction, okay? So your 4.5 is this. I want to know how long Michael's in front of the saw. What do I cut all the studs at? Okay? Oh, jeez, I don't know. So you know you've got subfloor. That's your basic construction. Okay? So your finishing is anything you're adding later on. So you're gonna throw in, what do you got here?
Furring.
What's furring?
3/4.
3/4. So you're gonna add 3/4 because you know you're shrinking your building. Everything you're shrinking your ceiling height by 3/4, right? Then you're gonna add what? You're gonna add some gyp rock, another 1/2 inch right there.
All that is the finishing.
That's all the finishing. Yeah, it's all stuff you're adding later. So this is what these two have to figure out Friday afternoon before they start cutting their studs. Then what are you gonna do down here?
Or
Bois franc, you're gonna put some hardwood flooring in.
Yeah.
So your calculation is gonna be your ceiling height, whatever, 9 foot 7 inch, minus 3/4, 1/2 inch, and 3/4, right?
yeah.
That's going to give you exactly what you need for the height of your stud, right? And then you're going to subtract 4.5 because you have 1, 2, 3 plates. Then you'll know exactly what the length of your stud is. So when the lady shows up and she says, Daria, I did a really great job, but I think my ceiling's off by 3/4. It's a little high. I said, no, he's going to put some hardwood flooring in. Now you pay me, lady. Cool? That's how you do it. That's important to remember. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Cool? All right, the sides and top of a door or window frame is called what? Jams. I should reword that. Should I put in box? The box around a door or window?
Sides and top of the door or window.
The word is jam.
Hmm?
Jam.
Jam. Jam. JMB. It's not JAM. It's nothing to do with raspberry or strawberries or anything.
Jam.
It's kind of an English word. Door jam. Door jam. Look at that.
Oh, that.
There's your jams. It's the box that the door sits in. You have door stop. It's where your latch goes on. It's where your trim goes on. Same thing for a window. You know, it's the box that it goes in. So there's your latch jam. Same thing for a window. It's gonna have a box
And how
within.
thick are they normally? How thick is it?
Normally about 3/4. They're getting cheaper these days, but it's about 3/4. When you calculate that rough opening, that 2.5, you calculate it for 3/4.
You put door jam.
So a window's same thing. It's gonna have a little box, and that's what you call it, jam. When you have to build out a window, sometimes you install a window and it's not flush with the gyp rock. You know what I mean? You have to build out a jam. You'll do that in finishing. And that's a jam extension. So you're gonna build it out so it's flush with the gyp rock so you can trim it. Cool? What amount is allocated to each side of the door, window, rough opening for shimming and adjustments? Half inch. Half inch. Interior, don't worry about interior. Right now we're just dealing with exterior. When tracing wall plates, what measurements is normally given for a door and window placement? To the center. What you're going to find on the plan, you're not going to find to the edge of the window or anything, you're going to find the center measurement. Then you're going to have to divide that rough opening and figure it out. At what measure would you place a nail to lay out studs on the wall plates?
19.
At what measure would one place a nail to lay out studs on the wall plates? Vincent gets the prize. 15 and a quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Remember all that? Your first place, you're going to pop in a nail at 15 and a quarter and measure from there.
I know where the nail goes in this.
No. Where have you been?
I was having a mini conversation with someone. A big argument, actually.
At what point are all openings measured from? Foundation wall, foundation corner. What measurement is normally added to the window size to determine the length of the lintel?
4 inch.
Yeah? Yeah?
4 inch.
Cool. Good. That's locked in there. We can just remember that for today. We'll be all right. Load-bearing interior walls are normally constructed in the same manner as
Exterior wall.
same thing. Headers, jack posts, cripplers, the kit. Oh, you don't have cripplers. You kind of don't really do windows. So, what are the best methods for stopping racking on a section of wall? Bracing or plywood. When you do the Black Joe, you use a wind brace. Normally, you put sheathing on that holds it all in place. Before installing plywood or bracing, what should be verified on the section of wall? Diagonal. Check your diagonal, always. You can't even put the plywood on if your wall's crooked. You'll see it right away. Sometimes you'll just square with the plywood too.
Yeah.
Just tap one corner and kick it over where it's supposed to go. How many 2x4s are used in the normal assembly of a corner post?
3,
3?
4.
4?
3. No, 2.
2.
Yeah.
Cool? 2. A corner post is just this. That's all it is. It's just that L. Oh, the other one's the other part of the wall. So when you build a wall, it's just that corner post like I drew. Cool? The other one's your first stud of the wall.
About the one you showed
Yeah.
us with the.
I said don't burn. And actually, it causes a problem. Because look at this, you guys, one more little tidbit of knowledge. It causes a problem because look, if you go like this, if you have one wall with your stud here and your other stud there, right? And then you have another wall like this, okay? And you have a stud here. This is why you're thinking there was 3, right? So you framed this wall, you lifted this wall. Now you have to frame this wall, right? You have your studs on this wall. So you're going to sheathe this on the ground. It's got its plywood already. You're going to sheathe the other one on the ground. So it's going to have its plywood on. What do you got left? It's one of the flaws of platform framing. Because when you raise that up, you can't. You want to cover that. You want to cover that with plywood, right? You got to get up there later on. So when you see any house being built, you're going to see their tie back flapping in the wind like that. Because somebody's got to get up there on the ladder, add that little piece of plywood and shoot on a furring and tape up that corner. He'll lose that little corner. So you always see the corners flapping around like that. It's because they use this system. But what sometimes I like to do is at least measure for your plywood, leave 3/4, because that's a joint on a joint, right? So you're gonna have whatever coming in there. So I'll leave that 3/4, so at least you overlap a little bit. We'll look at that down below. But it's one of the flaws that you'll run into. You always see that edge kind of exposed because there's no way they can do it. You can't lift up that plywood. You got to get up there later on when you do the finishing or something. What 2 simple tools are used to verify if a wall is straight before applying the second top plate? Cord and a block. And straighten all your walls. That might be my question. So this is the first time I tried this little question. I guess that wasn't clear, right? String and block.
String and block. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did put that. But then straight edge wouldn't work as well.
No.
Great for the first 4 feet, 6 feet, but
Yeah.
what'd you do down below? Nice
Do it
straight.
laser, no?
Huh?
You can do it laser, no?
Laser's great, but you can't see it during the day. So all these laser things are really awesome, but a DAWT laser's not bad. But you go hook up your DeWalt laser in the bright sun, and and you know what? String doesn't take any batteries. It doesn't harm your eyes. It's been used for. It's been literally used for thousands of years. How do you think the Egyptians built all their stuff? Thousands of years. Yeah. It's like
That's still a mystery.
Oh, I can tell you how it was all built. I saw one really cool video on it that it was like, oh, that makes sense. You know, like,
They didn't even have that technology.
oh, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. Okay, blocks of wood in a quarter. Okay, for a building measuring 55 by 35 feet by 7 foot 10 inches high, how many studs do I need? Kevin.
Is there like a 10,000 forward sheet?
The engineers can't even figure it out.
Michael?
Oh, for the wall, 18.
So, is it not 55 by 35?
I got one
Times-
first.
times
I got one
two.
eighty.
Damn, he's on fire. Me!
What is it?
180.
studs.
You're gonna go 55 times 2
Yeah.
plus 35 times 2. All that together is, I don't know, 180? 180?
Yeah, it's 180, and then you just divide it by 1 foot.
Divided by a foot.
But that gives
But
you.
it still gives you 180.
Yeah.
You can't
Why
divide it
divide
by
it by
what it gives you the number.
It's 180 feet, divided by 1 feet.
Yeah, it is 180, yeah.
180 feet divided by 1 foot.
It's your linear footage. You're ordering a stud for every foot. So you got 180 linear feet, you're gonna order in 180 studs. That means you have a stud every foot.
Oh, okay.
Cool? 180, I would round up to 200 easily. You're gonna have some bonanza in there. You're gonna have some mistakes. You're gonna have whatever, you know. It's, you know, job stuff, and then you got to do your plates too. So it's not the whole thing. It's just a rough idea. It's day one, right? So you do your plates. You can do the same thing. You're gonna take your 180 feet. You're gonna divide that by 16 times 3, right? Because you need 3 plates. So you need all your linear footage for your plates 3 times around, and those you normally order 16 footers. So when you build your wall, you're building your walls with 16 footers. You don't want all these little 8-foot sections. Cool? And how many sheets of plywood? You do the same thing, you divide by 4 feet because you're standing all your sheets up. So if you got 180 linear feet, you're going to divide by 4. It's going to give you how many sheets of plywood? 45. I'd go 46. I'd even maybe go 50. Gotta see who's on your crew that day.
46 for the corner.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you gotta. That's exactly how I think. I think more just chunk by chunk. I'll even do a dumb drawing. And, okay, what's my little leftover piece? If I'm less than 2 feet, then that means that I'll use it for both corners. You know what I mean? Like, I get kooky about it, but you don't want to run out. I rarely estimate and really stress about money. I stress more about running out, because when you're rocking and rolling and you're about to raise a wall and you're missing a sheet of plywood, it's a real wrench in your plans, man. It's oh yeah, that sucks.
You go and
Yeah, that means you got to send someone to the store, and he's going to drive about 5 kilometers an hour the whole way there, and you know, and then you got to pull out the credit card, and you got to, you know, yeah, it's just you don't want to run out. And you know what? It's not even laziness. To me, you get all your walls up, you're going home. You know, you run out of a piece of plywood, man, you got to get this stupid wall up. Then we're waiting for you to go to the store, and you're going to drive 5 kilometers an hour and smoke 10 cigarettes while you can, and you know, that's how the world works. So. Guys, we're done. I don't know what's going on this afternoon. I will talk to Dan this afternoon.
Nothing against you guys, but like, it's been the second time, like, I've been.
No, I totally understand. That's why I'm bringing it up. I don't know what to do with you guys. If you want to stay, stay. You should stay. I'm not out saying going home, but I don't know. I don't think it's fair that 8 guys are going to take all the roots apart. And
Kill him Monday.
but we are going to have a big talk all together. I keep giving you guys crap, but this group is out of control, man. The director's on it too. He's like, why are these guys never here? So Mr. Najim, who cruises in with the mods and whatever else. Kevin, you're bad too. You're getting good now. Month 6. He's on it.
So you're gonna, are you guys gonna let us know? We're just gonna do it.
Go take a break. I'll go talk to Dan. I'll come out in like 5-10 minutes.
Why are you still with me?
Thanks a lot, guys. I know it was a lot this morning. I had to put on a big show, so. Salut.
I wanna see something hilarious.
Bouncing you?
Yeah.
Wait, everybody's in. We're stuck here, so let me get
Take the roof apart.
our side.
Yeah, we'll take our side.